Hey everybody, I'm Annie Catabrega, and this is my very last weekly energy reading for 2025. And I wanted to do something different this week. So yesterday I sat with my guides and I channeled 7 energy themes for 2026 and how to navigate them. I made myself some notes so that I could remember all the details. Let's start with the first one. 2026 is a doing year, not a dreaming year. So don't just say it, do it. Put action behind your ideas. So this is a year for embodiment, action, and real world follow through. We're co-creating with the universe this year, and our goals are going to start showing up really quickly. Like things that we thought might take us years and years to get to, we might notice that we take big steps forward to reaching our goals this year. It also feels like work that we want to do. It doesn't feel like drudgery necessarily, but more like I'm going to work really hard and I know that all of this hard work is going to come directly back to me and benefit me. So the key phrase here is 2026 doesn't reward intention, it rewards participation. The second theme is relationships reorganize around alignment. So your connections this year are going to mirror your own commitment to living a meaningful life. So the more you're living in your peace, in your inspiration, in your presence, in your creativity, engaging with your passions, making the most of your life, the more these meaningful relationships are going to come to you. So you might notice that in the first half of the year, anything that you know deep down isn't working in partnership, in friendship, in relationships, they might fall away. But just know that it's because there are more meaningful connections that are meant to come in, especially during the second half of the year. And what I heard was when we come into these new connections, it's best to come in with a clean slate in order to make the most of these connections. And what's meant by that is doing our best to come in aware of our own tendencies in relationships, how we project onto people, what our insecurities are, what our past traumas are, what our attachment styles are. So when we come in without all of this baggage into relationships, they're gonna go better. So meaningful lives attract meaningful relationships, and this is a year where that's really going to be obvious to people. The third energy theme is stand for something. So this is a message about having conviction and how this year we've reached, I heard we've already reached a tipping point here, but we're really going to see it and experience it in 2026, which is that conviction becomes influence. So neutrality in the face of all of the polycrisis in the world isn't going to be viable anymore. People are called to have values and speak up about their values. And caring becomes a form of social power and magnetism. And we're being reminded here that we don't need everybody to agree with us. That having clarity about how we stand in our integrity is way more powerful than having the general consensus of everyone agree with us. So the key phrase here is caring is currency. And those are the exact words that I got. Okay, next energy theme, distraction through division. So not everything loud happening in, particularly in the US, but also in the world, in Western culture, is deserving of your attention and your energy. I saw that there was going to be a handful of very polarizing events happening in our country, possibly even violent events happening in our country, in the US, and that a lot of this is just orchestrated distraction, and that it's meant to agitate people, it's meant to divide people. And when we play into that energy, then we are allowing ourselves to play into this, orchestration. So we stay in our power when we stay discerning and stay responsive rather than reactive, and stay curious about what it is that might be going on somewhere else that we are being distracted from. And so we're meant to just peel back a layer when we see these things happen instead of pouncing on the first reaction that we have. Not everything that's loud is what's important to feed our energy into. Okay, number 5, inner peace is a strategic tool. So nervous system health becomes a success skill this year. We are really learning how to regulate our nervous systems, gaining somatic awareness, learning how to heal our trauma, healing our inner children. These become really essential life skills. And this isn't new. This has been happening for a while. But inner peace is like, from what I'm hearing, it's our most important anchor, the thing that we need to come back to over and over and over in 2026 in order to help us stay grounded so that we can respond to what's happening in the world rather than react. So our calm clarity becomes our greatest advantage and our greatest tool to navigate 2026. Your nervous system is your leadership system. Number 6, major structural shifts. I kind of pushed my guides a bit because I was like, well, what about AI? People are going to want to know what's happening here. And it was like pulling teeth trying to get anything clear. But I did see that there are big changes and shifts happening here, and staying adaptable really matters. I did see quick acceleration in the fields of healthcare, communication, and even ecology, which seems strange to me because AI is clearly not good for the environment, but that's what I heard. I did see the second half of 2026 seeing, work structures changing and changes in the economy that were substantial. And the most important message that came through here was about riding the wave. And they compared this experience to riding a wave in the ocean, which I'm not a surfer, but it's kind of how I imagine being able to surf a wave is like going with the flow of the ocean instead of fighting against it. So we could get really exhausted and really beat up if we try to push against flows of energy that are way more powerful than us. And now I'm not saying that we shouldn't stand for things. Clearly that's important too, but I think it's more about being discerning about the battles that we want to fight and where it is that we actually have control and we can make a difference, and also knowing when it's not wise to deplete ourselves energetically. So there is a discernment here about like, okay, don't burn yourself out fighting the ocean. And then the 7th one, this is the same as 5. Okay. I wrote this down twice. Your inner peace is your anchor. I'm going to come back to it because it's really, really important. Your inner peace is your anchor. That is the most important thing to keep coming back to this year, is how you take care of yourself and your own nervous system, your own well-being, your mental health, your physical health, whatever it takes to keep you at peace and centered and grounded is going to be your very, very best tool for navigating 2026. All right, everybody. I hope that you have a great week, and I hope you enjoyed this video. As with anything that I give you, take it or leave it. Take what inspires you, take what resonates with you, and you can leave the rest. And I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and I will see you in 2026. Bye, everyone.